from the imperial family, but seeing Chu Yao's eyes filled with hope, he couldn't help agreeing, of course. But it'll have to be a secret between us. Her face reddened and her beautiful eyes looked away. She hurriedly whispered, then I have to go. You go back first. I'll walk home. If the princess was being noticed to have a male companion on her mount, it would definitely bring great trouble. Chu Yao seemed to also understand and whispered a goodbye to Long Chen before flying away on her hawk eagle. Seeing her figure gradually fade away, an uncomfortable feeling arose in his heart. Only after a long time later did he sigh and start walking back. But just as he arrived at his family gate, he saw countless elite troops had already completely encircled the Long estate. His face darkened and killing intent immediately surfaced. Since you've come seeking death, I won't hold back. The fury in his heart could no longer be suppressed, as he directly charged at the elite troops which were surrounding his home. Chapter 18 The Savage Marquis. Hundreds of troops had surrounded the Long estate, forming a tight encirclement. An armored middle-aged man on top of a horse was arrogantly looking down on Mrs. Long. Mrs. Long was pale as she spoke to that man, while Bauer and the other members of the household were all terrified as they cowered from the troops. When Long Chen appeared, that man's eyes brightened and he coldly shouted, Long Chen, you needlessly injured the noble heir Zhu Yaoyang extremely heavily. We've received orders to capture you. Will you go willingly? These troops were all elites that had heavy bloody auras. How could Mrs. Long have ever seen such a display of killing intent? She was as pale as a sheet of paper as she tottered, about to collapse. She would have really collapsed if Bauer didn't go to support her. Long Chen completely ignored all the troops as he walked to his mother. His heart hurt to see how afraid she was. Mom, don't worry. This is just a dream. Once you are awake, all of this will be gone, said Long Chen gently as he took her hand. A gentle spiritual strength came out with his words. Mrs. Long's eyelids felt heavy, and she fell into a deep slumber. Bauer, Zhangma, can you help me bring my mother in? Long Chen couldn't bear to see his mother so frightened, so he had used his spiritual strength to directly force her to sleep. Otherwise, as a normal mortal, it would be easy for her to fall ill from experiencing such a fright. Bauer and Zhang Ma carried Mrs. Long back inside, while Long Chen told everyone else to close the door.